Hello, world. Today is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. And the show is coming to you from the USA on the East Coast, Lexington, Kentucky. This week, we're really experiencing mild conditions. Today, the high will be 62, and currently it is 59 and feels like 56. The forecast for today: rain possible this afternoon, 40%. I usually go with more than 50. West storms could bring significant mountain snow and near record high temperatures, again with that 62-degree reading. Flu risk remains high over the next few days, and after Saturday, the temperatures will drop back into the 30s. The AQI is good. Wind, 19 miles per hour, that keeps it brisk. Pollen, none. We have been experiencing tree pollen off and on in this area. And it's a curious thing about the wind. We have this expression, I'm going to go out and get some fresh air. That's a thing that's particular to the weather, and it relates to how much humidity is in the air. The drier the air, the fresher it feels. So that feeling of coming outside and this is going to be a nice day comes from how dry the air is. So fresh air. AQI is good. Conditions for running are good. Today, sunrise was at 7:24 a.m. It is currently 7:58 a.m. Sunset will be at 6:20 p.m. And as far as the weather is concerned, heavy snow forces Olympic schedule shake up. So that's the weather for this area. Those of you in the viewing audience probably have your own reports on the weather, depending on your location. I wanted to cover something today that's been in the news, and I guess it's heart-wrenching, heart-rendering, and emotional, and that's the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. People outside the United States may be aware of it, depending on how much media coverage you get from outside your country. But Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her home in Tucson, Arizona, and authorities believe she was taken against her will in the early hours of 1 February. The search has now entered its third week. According to authorities investigating the case, very little has been found that would lead to discovering her whereabouts or any suspects in the case. All members of the Guthrie family have been cleared of any involvement in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie, with NBC's morning program, has pleaded on air for the return of her mother with her two siblings present. A $50,000 reward, which has been raised to $100,000, has been offered for any information that leads to the discovery of her location. There has been some reports that there was a note surrendered or information passed, a request made for a $6 million Bitcoin payment, which which Savannah said she would make. But I believe that was not done. This has resulted in over 3,000 calls received, according to investigators in the case. Nancy Guthrie has a pacemaker, which was connected to an app on her phone, which was disconnected. It was an emotional moment for Gayle King with CBS morning program when the news was announced. I was watching the program that Gayle was on, CBS, that day, and it made me feel it too. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. This kidnapping case, as far as I can tell, historically and in modern times, is very unique. It doesn't seem to fit into any of not the kidnapping is normal, but any of the previous profiles of kidnapping cases. Excuse me. I haven't covered sports recently, so let's take a look at last weekend with the NBA. These events took place: the Celebrity All-Star Game, the three-point shooting, and the dunk contest. The 2026 NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, held in Los Angeles, Team Giannis defeated Team Anderson 65-58 on February 13th, 2026. This game is meant to have its share of fun, and it was. Damian Lillard won his third career title at the 2026 State Farm three-point contest in Los Angeles, scoring 29 points in the final round to edge out Devin Booker with 27 points. One of the unique things about the three-point contest, you have 30 balls and basketballs, and I think a minute, 20 seconds to shoot all 30. So, skill. But Damian Lillard won that one. And the winner of the 2026 NBA Slam Dunk Contest was Kashad Johnson of the Miami Heat. The event was held on February 14, 2026 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, as part of the NBA All-Star Weekend. Speaking of the NBA in general, as of February 18th, today, 2026, Detroit Pistons lead the Eastern Conference 40-13. And the Western Conference is led overall by Oklahoma City with a plus 130 odds. The Western Conference is still fluid. The Pistons had the top spot with a .755 winning percentage. Back to the NBA again. This is just like something on the side because you watch games here, watch games there. I do anyway. I saw the Lakers game when LeBron James did his crowd-pleasing dunk. And in that same game, Bronny did a full court run to finish with a dunk of his own. That being said, I wanted to talk about Bronny for a moment. Bronny was drafted into the NBA. Shortly after that, he suffered a heart attack. So since then, it's been a little while now. He's been in that recovery mode and, so forth and so on. Sometime in the G League, which in and of itself is not unusual because I think every team in the NBA league has a G team component for player development. having a heart attack, I'm quite sure for anybody, especially at a young age, will kind of set a mental perspective as to where do we go from here. And it kind of reminds me of that commercial that's on the TV. A man is sitting on a couch, at one end of the couch, and an animated emoji of a heart is on the other end of the couch. And he's talking to what appears to be a healthcare professional, a woman, about his heart. Whatever the product is that they're advertising to sell. But in that context, you know, the body is an amazing thing. We get a scrape on our elbow or a scrape on our knee, and, you know, time passes and it'll heal. Even with broken bones, which are usually fractures, they heal within 6 to 8 weeks. Sprains, bruises, contusions, that all heals. The heart being a major organ in our body, we still may have a tendency to be a little bit cautious as to how much we exert ourselves, and even with the medical team involved, you know, ensuring us that, you know, we can proceed supervised or with continuous check-ins from the medical team, you know, pretty much okay. And to kind of come away from that for a minute, it's like if you have a tire that has a hole in it and you take it to the shop because you're noticing the air coming out, and they plug it, you know, inflate it, check the rim for a good seal, mount it, you drive off, and, well, I got that fixed. And tires, as far as, you know, vehicles, automobiles are concerned, relate to, you know, how the car handles, how well you are able to maintain your speed, especially on the highway, and proper inflation of the tires reduces any stress or extra strain on the engine and the drivetrain, such as the transmission performance of the automobile. So, going back to the body, any player in the NBA just coming in as a rookie or even been in the league for a while knows that they have their good days and days when they are not so good. And the longer you are in the league, supposedly your good days start to accumulate faster and higher than your not so good days. So for me, to see Bronny come full court and do a dunk was pretty pleasing. Another thing about the human body, which a lot of people are not aware of, is that without you even thinking about it, having no control over it whatsoever and no say in it, the human body replaces I'll say it this way. Every cell in the human body is replaced every 7 years. So I'll just let that sink in. So kudos to LeBron, kudos to Jamie on those Bronny, on those crowd-pleasing dunks. Both of them in the same game. The 2026 Olympics Games. The U.S. standing currently is 6 gold, 11 silver, and 6 bronze, for a total of 23 medals. These medals were won in speed skating, freestyle skating, alpine skating, and figure skating. The games are being held in Milan, Italy. Well, number one, let me say this. Winter Games have really impressed me because to me, it takes a lot of courage to participate in those sports. Bobsledding, coming off the slopes and getting that air, 2 seconds in the air for traveling 80 to 90 some feet. And not only that, doing tricks and stuff in the process. So it's a lot to take in, but they are there, best of the best. 2026 Winter Olympic Games. But this one event I wanted to talk about, I hope I have it correctly, the women's cross country 4x2 7.5 kilometer relay. And I'm passing this on or talking about it in the sense of the human spirit. Okay, so this is a women's event. Cross country, they're covering, it's no other way to put it, it's rough going. Some you have to maneuver your skis on to do it step by step. Some you can glide on your skis and come forth and so on. Some of it's uphill, all of that. So this one particular part of it, the woman's on her skis, she hits a rough patch, takes a tumble, one ski comes off. So she, composes herself, stands up, picks up the ski. She got one ski on her foot and her ski pole in her hand. So she's carrying the ski, scooting along on one ski. It's funny, but it's not funny. Scooting along on one ski, carrying a ski, and her team person, I guess, is close enough to have seen what had happened, so he's preparing and grabs the other ski and starts heading to the point where he can meet her and render assistance. So in the process of carrying the new ski, he takes a tumble and falls in the snow. So anyway, he gets up there where he can, put the ski down for her to make the transfer and drop the bad ski and proceed. But I said she just didn't give up. I mean, it's cold. The ski didn't come off. She carrying the ski, one pole scooting along. He done took a tumble in the snow, and she got on a new ski and took off. So that's the Olympic Games for 2026 winter. March 26, 2026. Batter up. That's it. Hashtag